Alright, we're just going to be cutting a little bit of fish today. I got 4 different varieties for you. Each one going from easiest to hardest. Starting off with Seabream. We're just going to cut the head off. You're going to notice how I do this with a couple of different fish in this video. And then the head just pops right off. I'm going to open the belly up. Real quick before we get into it, small disclaimer, this is my first time filming with a very wonky POV mount I got off Amazon for $20. So just chill if the angles aren't perfect and you see a mistake. All good? Good. First thing we're going to do is start cutting up the very back of the fish. I had to adjust the camera for a second, but that's where the first mistake started. All the way down to the tail. Just cut slightly over the spine, release the tail. Open up the pin bones, cut through the pin bones. Sometimes these are a little weird, but that's okay. Then you want to cut around the rib cage and break a little bit on this one, but that's fine, that's always fixable. Whip the tail, trim the rib cage out. Take a little bit of belly meat off. And one side done. Don't worry about the guts on these, it's fine. Start on the tail, all the way down the back. If I'm not mistaken, I also sharpened my knife in between this because it was quite dull. Okay, you're basically doing the same thing as the other side, but it's kind of backwards. And then you just want to break the pin bones. Getting around the rib cage on this side, it's easier because you don't have to worry about moving your hand in on any kind of awkward angle. Sometimes you get caught in a little bone back here.
I haven't cut one of these in a while.
It happens a lot sometimes. Just depends on how big the bones are. And there you go. It comes right off. And you just trim a little bit of belly off. Don't worry about the guts and stuff like that. These fish came in with guts in. All right. Then you want to spray your table off before you skin it, so that way you don't get a bunch of bumps and stuff on your table. You just want to be real gentle. Don't pull the skin too hard. It looks like I'm handling it aggressively, but I'm not. I just know what I'm doing. Alright, now we're going to straighten the belly out. V-cut the fish. You want to start the first bone, cut on the side, make a couple of cuts down. That way you're not cutting through bones. Loop your knife over, cut the other side, and then straighten the belly up and go on the next one. Now skin it. You'll notice a little imperfection on the belly. That's not a big deal. That happens sometimes. Most people I work with can't even cut fish like this. They have to cut the bellies off completely. So I'm not mad about it. Same thing on this side, just opposite direction. That little piece broke off, but that's fine. Just lining it back up and it looks fine. They look almost the same actually. I cut down both sides because my knife was dull and it didn't come out super clean. Spray your table, spray your fish, make sure you get the scales and little bits of gut off of there. That's unavoidable to get it, and then you go on to your next one. Grab your scaler. I love using these things. Now, to get scales off of snapper species a little bit easier, this is golden Alfonzino Snapper. You want to spray it like that. If the fish are big, they won't move, but you have to hold on to the tail for the small ones. You'll see the scales lift up. So you barely got to put any pressure on these, and now they come off very, very easily. It looks like I'm being rough with it too, but I'm not. I'm barely pressing on these fish, and then everything's just coming off there so easily. You want to get as many of these scales off as possible because they're awful to get inside of your mouth. If the scales are real small, they can suction to the roof of your mouth, and you end up getting that type of feeling in the back. It's terrible. You can't chew on them, you can't boil them. The best you can maybe make is a guitar pick out of it, but you need like an Arapimer or something for that. I personally like flipping the fish around like this when scaling it because I avoid getting stabbed as much. And when you're handling a few hundred of these a day or whatever of any kind of snapper species, you're going to get stabbed. And over the course of a couple of years, you're going to get stabbed thousands upon thousands of times. I've been stabbed so many times by this, I don't get infections on my fingers anymore. I don't need to go to the hospital to get antibiotics or nothing. So we're still going to start off with cutting the heads off of this. Same kind of deal as the other one. Knife under the armpit, around the head, pops right off. Open the belly up again. That's not really how I put it usually. But this fish, it's going to feel a little different because the skin's much softer and the whole fish is going to be softer. So you have to be a little more delicate with this fish than the last one. The pin bones, when you cut these things out, are a little weird too. They're not really in the spot that you want them to. But other than that, the cut is pretty much the same. Trim the belly out. Make it look all nice. There's a little bit of bruising on this fish, but that happens sometimes. That's why I was feeling around like that. Okay, this is where I'm cutting the pin bones out. You can see when I'm looking for them because I know they're in a different spot, but I don't remember where they are. So I have to like check it and just make sure I have the right spot. You can even tell by this fish to the other one, the pin bones are in a completely different spot. Same thing as the other fish. Cut it upside down, all the way down the back. Same thing, tail, release. Cut through the pin bones. And that one came apart real easy too. Yeah, I know, there's guts under the skin, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, I'm still eating the fish. Make it look all pretty. Sometimes when you cut the head off a fish, you'll get a little bone that's on the very end of the fillet. Just cut that off. It's not a big deal. If you don't cut the heads off of fish, good luck. See, there's the bone I was talking about. Alright. Alright, that's done. Get these cleaned up. Scaled fish you especially want to wash again after, because you're never going to get all those scales off of there. Especially since they go everywhere. Now, here's the derpiest fish I've seen in a very long time. This is called John Dory. I have never cut this fish before. As you might be able to tell by how I keep feeling around for the collarbone up there, which is next to non-existent. The fish didn't smell bad. The guts look really gross in this, but it's really not too bad. I just cut that little bit of belly because I wasn't sure what to think of this fish, but I didn't need to do that. Spray off a little bit. Get some of this extra stuff off of here. Cut down the back. Now,
ooh, this is a weird one.
I said that because there's like pin bones that stick up in the middle of the fillet.
The fuck? It's got like no rib cage.
Yeah, and that too.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait to see what this fish tastes like. There's a little red bit at the very side of the fillet. That's some bones in there I didn't see, but I'll get those later. But no, I was checking around. I was looking in this to see if it smells bad or anything really, and it's fine. There's no weird smell to it. The meat's a really nice white color. I mean, the fish itself is not hard to cut at all. It's kind of like cut flounder, honestly, but a little bit easier. It's just strange. It's got the belly of triggerfish almost. It's like almost not there. Spray off a little bit. It's a very good habit to have the spray in between each fish if you have, you know, a lot of time to spare. If you don't, just stay with one type of fish and just keep cutting that until it's done. That's where I noticed the pin bone on the side. Well, anal fin bone, whatever.
Wow. The skin just peels right off this shit. Holy fuck.
But the meat splits in such a weird way that I kind of regret skinning it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's just a natural separation. There's nothing I can do about that.
I mean, this is my first time cutting this fish, so I've never seen this. Usually I'm far more certain to know where all the pin bones are. I wasn't very confident with this. That's why it took me so long to get through it.
Oh wait. Yeah.
That's just pieces of rib cage. There's actually no pin bones in here at all.
Well, that's a little weird.
This fish was not nearly as big as it could have been. I mean, it's a 68-pound big eye tuna, but yeah, smaller fish are better when it comes to big eye tuna. They just have less time to get all kinds of nasty sachi pockets and scars and stuff like that. First thing you want to do is you want to spray the outside of the fish really well, because sometimes they smell a little bit. I'm leaving this section of the video fairly unedited because I need to use this as a reference for cutting tuna. I don't get to do this very often, and I haven't done this in a couple of years, so I was a little nervous going into this. But I usually scrub the outside of the tuna if it's a little old to get some of the extra bacteria off it. If it's really, really bad, I'll use soapy water. Starting off with color collarbone off again, same thing. Under the armpit, down to the throat, up and around. There's a lot of meat on this, but I can't use all of it. But somebody else will eat it later. Other armpit. Sorry about the glove in the face. Around the other side. There's a few different ways to get this off. I don't like to cut through the spine because it's quite hard, so I'll just hack that bitch off of there. There's a little piece on the very end that split a little bit, but yeah, it's fine. Alright, I'm still gonna split the belly first. Same reason why I do this for all the other fish, so that way it comes off evenly. Everyone's got a little different way to do this, but yeah, this is how I do it. First thing I'll do is I'll backwards cut it. These fish you can't really cut across because you'll end up screwing in the meat. I haven't done this in a couple of years, so this is pretty shaky even for me. And this is not an easy fish to fillet whatsoever. This is a very difficult one, and you should not take tuna lightly in any sort of way. Respect the fish, and if you fuck it up, you better be paying for it. Now we're going to cut around this little bit of cartilage here. It's quite hard, so I have to cut under it, and then I like to cut it off. Some people don't. Some people keep it on there as like a little handle, but I find it to be a little hard to work around. So here's how you do it. It's not the cleanest way to do it, but it's an effective way to do it. So you want to cut under the skin like this, and you want to do it the whole length of it. And what I do is I'll just cut the whole thing off just like this. That way it's completely out of the way. I don't got to worry about it. This stuff is very, very tough. Then I'll start at the tail, because that's the softest spot to cut through. Adjust the camera. It looks like I'm being rough with it, but I'm not. I'm actually not sawing. I'm doing a different type of motion that you use with fish. But you want to be real careful. I love this sound. Sound of threat. You'll hear it right about here. Oh, I love that. Gets my dick hard thinking about it. Alright. This part can really easily be screwed up. I did happen to start on the wrong side doing this. I should have done the other side first, but that's not a big deal. I know this for future reference. Split the back of that. Oh yeah, it's awesome. And you want to be gentle, very, very gentle when you're doing this, because you could ruin this fish so easily. You have no idea. I've screwed up at one of these fish before. And there's always the possibility of you screwing it up, even if you're real good at cutting fish. I fucked up a little here. Yeah, note to self, don't do that again. But I'm really tired of talking, and hopefully you guys can just watch the rest of the video and enjoy the music. Like and subscribe if you find any value in this, and have a great day.
It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music.
fuck up part of this, but it's not a big deal. Like this right here, I fucked that up, but I can fix that.
You got to hop in the 3, you got to hop in the 3.